What's up, family? It is so good to see you all. Welcome to Barrier Breaker Monday. Listen, I know this is a little bit out of the ordinary. You all don't normally see me, but I am really excited to be here, and I cannot wait to get this Barrier Breaker Monday started. I don't take it lightly that you all decide to take some time out of your Monday to join us on Barrier Breaker Monday. And so having said that, I want you all to do me a favor, to go ahead and share. Like this video, share it out. Ask someone to hop on and watch with you. I want you to know that tonight will be no exception. We have an amazing guest tonight for Barrier Breaker Monday. For those of you all that don't know me, I am Patrice, and I have the pleasure of welcoming you this morning to Pastor Teddy's Barrier Breaker Monday series. It's such an honor to finally be in front of the camera with you all, to greet you all, to welcome you all to this series. I see we still have some people that are hopping on. Do me a favor, as you like and you share this, go ahead and drop in the comments. Let me know that you're here, and let me know where you're watching from. I can't wait to see some of you all as you pour into the comments. And I want to tell you that in true fashion, Pastor Teddy has not let us down. We have another amazing person that's going to be talking with us this evening. But before I bring them on, I want to make sure that you all are out there and that you all are ready for this evening's Barrier Breaker Monday. So just go ahead and continue to share this message. Go ahead and continue to drop in the comments. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you can't wait to talk to our Barrier Breaker this evening. I see some of you are liking and sharing this. Thank you so much for liking and sharing it. Well, without further ado, I'm going to get out of the way, and I'm going to bring on the one and the only Teddy Matthews, the host of Barrier Breaker Monday. You all can see here, I've given you all a sneak peek. We've got André that's going to be joining us, but I don't want to give it all away. So you're just going to get me for right now. And I want you to know you got a sneak peek. And now that you know who it is, I want you all to continue to like and to share it. And having said that, I see Pastor Teddy, he's on, and I'm going to bring him up. You know what, Pastor Teddy, you're so excited.
Here I am. I am present and accounted for. Happy Monday, everybody. Thank you so much to Patrice. We believe one of my core convictions for just everything I do in life is this conviction that teamwork makes the dream work. And Patrice has been an incredible asset to these Barrier Breaking Mondays. And honestly, that's kind of my life's team throughout the course of time for, I don't know. I don't want to date either one of us now, but it's been close to probably been close to a decade-ish by now. And so grateful to have you with us. You all get to see somebody who makes things happen behind the scenes. I'm so grateful for you, Patrice. And I'm grateful for you all who are on. I know she already asked you to do this, but I'm going to ask you to do this again for me. Go ahead and share this. Go ahead and like this. Go ahead and feel free to comment in the chat to let us know that you're on. Let us know that you're rocking with us tonight. And then to the replay crew, I want to say, welcome to you. Some of you all don't have the chance to watch this live, but you hop back on each and every week to catch the replay. And I want to say welcome to you and thank you to you as well. Well, listen, some of you all are familiar with me. So, you know, I have a saying that says we don't make excuses, we make adjustments. And we're a little bit off track tonight. So here's what we're going to do. We're not going to make an excuse for the tardiness. We're going to adjust and go ahead and bring our guest on that I'm incredibly excited to have with us tonight. He is somebody who I have come to know as a friend and a brother. He's doing some incredible things. And as you all know, these nights are intentionally around a barrier breaking, overcoming obstacles, and people sharing their story, people giving encouragement about why they do what they do. I've had the chance now to share for 2 different programs that this brother leads and works together with, and all of them are committed to serving youth. And that alone inspired me and encouraged me to say more people need to hear about who this brother is and his family, and then more about what he does. And so I have the privilege. What's up, sir? How are you doing tonight?
I am good, Pastor Teddy. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm rocking and rolling. It doesn't stop. I'm rocking and rolling tonight.
I know.
But I'm glad to have you on. I'm so grateful for you making the time to be on with us. These have been incredible. We started these back in February, and we've gone pretty strong. We've had just different people from all over the space and place, unintentionally, kind of, so to speak. We've kind of ended up people who are serving the Proviso land area so far. This isn't limited to that. This is, again, I want you to be clear. I'm going to introduce you. I'm going to turn it over, ask you some questions, and let you do what you do. But these nights are primarily about people being equipped with the tools and the encouragement needed to know that all of us have obstacles to overcome. It's about understanding the fact that all of us have at least the latent or the dormant potential to become barrier breakers. And we're all going to face some kind of a barrier. The question is not if we will, it's what will we do when we face it. And so these guests and you tonight get to share, as much as you, or just kind of how it is you have overcome. What are some things you've had to overcome? We're excited to hear about that, as well as what kind of fuels you to keep going in terms of what you do. So I'm going to introduce you, and I'm going to move out of the way. So this bio says that André was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, and its surrounding suburbs. Growing up in his home life, it was centered on faith in God and family. Early on, it was evident that he had two interests: basketball and education. Those are two good interests right there. He focused on his academic studies while learning and perfecting the sport of basketball. He excelled in his education by attending and graduating from North Shore Country Day School, Triton College with an Associate's in Arts and Education, and Dominican University with a Bachelor of Arts in Theology. Wow, I didn't even know that about you. Check your, wow, look at that. I love it. His basketball playing career includes high school varsity at North Shore, college basketball at Triton, and that finished 8th nationally among junior colleges and semi-professional with the Chicago Steam. After an extensive basketball career, his desire to give back to his community and the sport, and he transitioned his gift and talents to nonprofit work and coaching. In 2013, he co-founded a nonprofit organization, 4 Point Play Incorporated, that focuses on fortifying the individual's mind, body, and spirit through sports. In 2018, he became the junior varsity boys head coach for Walther Christian Academy. Let's go Broncos!
Go Broncos!
In 2019, he joined the Chicago Bulls staff as a youth hoop coach and brand ambassador. He's married with 4 children and believes that leading by example is the key to success at home, on the basketball court, and in life. With no further ado, Mr. André Lodrée. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir. I'm happy to be here. Just a pleasure to be here and talk with you. This is a great topic. I'm very interested in how we're gonna go about this, and I just can't wait, man.
Yeah, well, let's jump right in. Yeah, they're in the comments. Thank you all so much for being in here. So just tell us a little bit. So I read the bio, and as you can, I picked up some things I didn't even know about you real quick and fast. It's just so tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your upbringing, your background. Tell us a little bit about you, sir.
So yeah, I was born and raised in Chicago. Grew up in Maywood mostly, most of my life. Come from a family of 10. We got a big family. I'm the oldest. Yeah, I'm the oldest of 8. So I'm also a PK. My dad's a pastor. So we grew up in the church. Faith was really our foundation. All of us kind of spent hours and hours at church. Sunday was church day. You're there from 8:30 till 4 or 5 o'clock at night, and if we got a special service, maybe 9 or 10 at night. So that's how it went. And you learned a lot. The word definitely gets ingrained in your heart and soul, and it stays with you. And so that's one of the reasons why I have went on into theology when I was at Dominican University. Was really wanted to dig a little deeper into my faith and explore that more. And so I did that. And, I actually, when I got to Dominican, I was majoring in education and math. And something was, Spirit was like, you need to go, let's check out the theology thing. And so I was like, what am I going to do with a theology degree? That's like, so you're online, you Googling like, oh my gosh, that's how much they make as pastors? That's how much they make as ministers? Like, oh, okay. how they afford to take care of family with this? So
this isn't it.
This isn't it. But it was a faith move, and I did it. I listened to the Spirit, moved on with that theology degree, came out of Dominican, and got a job right out of college, and worked in nonprofit, and was in nonprofit for about 10 or 12 years until I started 4-Point Play. It just really, for me, it was that opportunity to say, hey, I've learned a lot in my life from basketball, and I want to give back to the kids coming up. It's taught me so much. I've been able to do so many things with it and meet so many different people and learn so much, not just about myself, but about others. Definitely broaden my horizons as far as, meeting new people, interacting with different ethnicities, different cultures and things like that, and it allows you to become a well-rounded person, and so I really wanted to give that back to our youth, give them that opportunity. And at that time when we started 4-Point Play, it was really that sense like there wasn't a lot of safe environments for youth to just come, play, and learn the game. At that time, and it's still happening now, a lot of shooting in parks, around the Chicago area, was high. Kids were uncomfortable and afraid to even go out and go to their neighborhood parks. So we wanted to create an environment where they can come to and feel safe, be protected, but also learn the sport and learn something hopefully about themselves that they didn't know before, and so that's why we started it. And we've been rocking and rolling for 7 years now. 7 years. It'll be 7 years in August. So yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Learned even more. Didn't know you had that many siblings. That's a lot in and of itself. What was that like growing up? And then you were oldest.
That was crazy. It was a lot of responsibilities, changing a lot of diapers, cooking some meals here and there. As the oldest, you have responsibilities from day one. So you have to be that person that is helping your siblings out. It was 6 boys and 2 girls. Our 2 girls are the youngest. So definitely had my little brothers that I would work with and play with and take them outside and do things together, teach them how to play basketball a little bit too. They probably were mad at me for some of those days because I was so tough on them. But that was it, man. We had fun. We had good, loving parents, that really gave us, that right environment for us to grow up and have a safe environment to just learn and be who God wanted us to be, and that was always what was important for us. I know my parents always brought one thing to us, and that's Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And, every time I get in a tough situation, that's the scripture I focus on and zone right in with that. So that's got me through some things. Say that. Talking about barrier breaking. That's got me through some things. But that foundation was definitely there and very impactful throughout my life. And, when you got a big family, you always got friends, man. You always your siblings are always there. They're always there to call on and talk to. My wife came from more of a only child type of environment. So when she got into our life, she was like, I don't understand. Like, you guys are just you, so we all get in the room together. We're loud, we're talking, we're having a good time, all that stuff is happening. And so it was a little bit foreign to her because she hadn't experienced all of that growing up. And so, but she fit right in. She found her voice and got in and got things going. So it's really good though, man. It's really good. Yeah.
That's good. That's awesome. So you're following suit. I mean, you all have 4 currently, right?
Yeah.
So
we hoping. I'm thinking that's it.
You going for 10? You going to
we're not doing
modern day 10, 10 and 20.
That's not happening. No.
I understand.
We do have thoughts about maybe another one, but it's
okay.
It comes and goes. You pick up your niece or your nephew for a few hours, like, oh my gosh, the baby. Oh, the baby. It's so wonderful to have a baby. And then you realize, wait a second, I gotta take care of that baby for the rest of their life. I got 3 at home I can do. I'm cool. So yeah, that's the kind of feelings we have.
Okay, I understand. I completely I get it. So what made I love to hear how you entered into Dominican and you were really looking at kind of taking a different path in terms of educationally, but you really felt this leading from God.
Yeah.
To jump into theology, and you discovered, I'm glad you said this for the people in the back. It's not you didn't do it because it's lucrative. You didn't do it because this is where you go when you want to make money.
Right.
But you felt this leading there. What was your experience like on campus at Dominican? For those who don't know Dominican, tell us a little bit about. There go your wife. Your wife is in the comments.
Good.
So
there we go.
Tell me a little bit about just kind of your Dominican, where you went. There's those who don't know where Dominican is. Tell us where it is and kind of what the experience was like for you there.
Yeah, so I went to Dominican University. It's in River Forest, Illinois. It is a small liberal arts school. Great, beautiful campus. And my experience was very great there. They're very supportive. The staff was good. And, it was a good transition from Triton. They had a good relationship with Triton College. So the transfer over was seamless. And, when I went in, like I said, I was gung-ho about going into education and focusing on math. That was my, plan, if you will. And then when I got there, you just, that change just happened. And I had, you have to take the theology courses there. We have to take, I think it's, you take, I want to say about 4 courses you have to take each year. So your junior and senior year, the freshman, sophomore, you take a religion course. So when I took the course, I was like, oh, this is nice. Oh, this is great. That was the class I started looking forward to. And so I was like, man. And so as I was, after my first semester, I really kind of was like, let me see what this theology thing is looking like and see if I can, possibly switch majors and not cause me to be there for extra time. Because, when you switch majors, there's always that sense of like, you may have to add more time onto your time at the school. So Lord blessed. It actually took off time. I ended up finishing, was supposed to be a 2-year. I ended up finishing 1.5 years.
Well, won't he do it?
Yeah, I took some summer classes. I knocked it through and got it done. And it was a blessing. I'm very thankful to the day that I took that route. I look at that and was like, that was probably one of the best decisions I made.
That's awesome. That's incredible. Something I do want to spend some time doing on these kind of going forward is specifically I want to bring out some individuals who went to community college. You took advantage of your local community college at Triton College. Would you mind sharing a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, that was great too. I mean, first things first, money is important, right? And the community colleges, you're paying way less than what you'd be paying to go to a 4-year university. And for the most part, you're getting comparable classes, comparable knowledge, comparable learning experience. So I'm definitely an advocate for it. Going to Triton, I'm on the Triton College Alumni Council. So I'm like, I'm like, hey, you want to do a junior college first? You can go there 2 years. You can keep you don't have to get in debt to go to school. You can keep your education loans down. And still get a good education. And then also those classes transfer over. And if you have a plan, and I tell a lot of our high school players that's coming out, you have to have a plan, and if your plan is after you leave Triton to go to, let's say, UIC, you can find out which classes are going to transfer directly to UIC and you won't lose any credits. And that's very important because when you're transferring over, you'll make sure you transfer all your credits from Triton College to the next 4 university you're going to. So I definitely, encourage any youth to take that opportunity. And it also is it's a good place to make some mistakes. You go to a 4-year college, you're paying $20,000, $30,000 a year. And if you make a mistake and you get a D or you get an F because the class is too difficult, then you feel a little bit bad. Like, I got to take that class again. Instead of it being, maybe $500, it's like $2,000 for that class to repeat. So now you spend $4,000 on that one class. So at a junior college, it's not the same thing. Maybe those classes cost $500 to $600 per class. You make a mistake, still not costing you that much money. So I looked at, I was in finance for a while, so I look at things and numbers a lot. So I'm about to, and then once you have kids, you're about to have bottom dollar.
And once you have kids, you automatically become a finance major.
Right.
I feel like once you got that first one, you pick up a finance degree.
Yeah, automatically. We walk around the house, turning off lights, making sure the heat set correct. It's too high.
Yeah.
So that happens. But yeah, definitely, I think it was a great experience. You get to go in there and get your education at a reasonable amount and also still be ready to move to that next level. So yeah.
No, thank you for sharing it. It's something, I do want to spend some more time around in the future. And now that I think about it in retrospect, I think you're going to be the third person that I've had on here who's had a Triton College experience specifically. We never really spoke to the benefit for those who are in the proviso area specifically of Triton College being right there in the back door. And now Triton has so many of those programs, if I'm not mistaken, that would transfer you right into the four-year college. And so I don't want to take up your time tonight, though, with digging into that specifically, but I would like to come back to that at some point. So you transitioned out, you've graduated from Dominican, you're now working for a nonprofit organization. Just kind of, so if you would kind of speak to from that place to you're deciding to start 4 Point Play, kind of walk us into that, what you were leading, feeling, sensing.
Yeah, so when I got into nonprofit, and the crazy thing about it, my first job out of college was for a nonprofit, and I was doing finance and administration. And
which is a theology degree.
Which is my theology degree, which is totally opposite. Totally opposite of what my degree was for. But I had some experience with it, so the Lord blessed it, moved me right into a good position. And I got there. First job, I was there for about maybe 3 years. Wonderful experience. And while I was there, just had that sense like, I can do this. I can start this nonprofit. And what I wanted to do with that. What I want that to be. My wife and I have often talked about, we are definitely community servant leaders. So we want to give back to our community as much as possible. And so we've always had that plan of, starting something for the community, whether it was a community center or something along that lines. So once I got into that position, I got to really see the background of the nonprofit, because in administration, you see all of the behind the scenes things, the different financial reports, the 501c3 filing, all of those things I learned in that first position and kind of said, okay, now I need to do this and activate this into what our vision is for us. And so, and from there, I worked at after I left there, I worked at another nonprofit, moved up and got to be, to my last place I was at, I was the operations director for a nonprofit. So, and it, you do wear a lot of hats as when you're working in a nonprofit, and the money is not that great. But, when you have your purpose and you're working your purpose, these other things are not a priority. The Lord takes up the things that you need and takes care of you in the best way possible, And so for me, it was always about making sure that I was fulfilling my purpose, working with organizations that were focused on youth, education, even like other community issues. I worked with a housing nonprofit for a little bit too. So all focusing and working areas that really impacted the communities that I grew up in and communities that I lived in. And that was our goal. And sure enough, I've been able to do that. And after I saw that happen, I said, okay, let me start 4 Point Play and let's move this to be impactful in our community that we live in. And like I said, we've been doing it for 7 years now. And, even through this pandemic, the Lord has really been blessing to make a way for us to stay and do the things we need to do and open us up to different ideas. I think creativity, we definitely came out of the pandemic. You were really forced to be like, okay, I need to look at this thing differently. I need to look at this, what I'm doing, our programming. I need to look at this differently and find a way to really keep us moving forward, but also bringing in the clients that we need to bring in and reaching the people that need to be reached now more than ever.
No, absolutely. And so I mean, there was so much that you said there. So one thing I would love for you to speak to is purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
Purpose is something you hit on a lot. It's something that I feel like is regurgitated often, but I don't know if people can say with the degree of clarity that I believe you just said that with was I was able to keep doing this because I knew it was my purpose. Speak to us about that. How did you arrive at that clarity around that being your purpose, and what that means to you as your purpose?
Yeah, I think for me, having that opportunity to grow up in the church, I had, that just, I would say that feeling inside, like you are supposed to give back. You are supposed to serve. That is something that is, I believe, innate in the gospel. You look at our perfect example, Jesus. He was a servant. Mm-hmm. He served his disciples. He served the people that he was ministering to. And minister means to serve, to be a servant. Mm-hmm. So for me, that's always been something that was just in me, and that was put in me by my parents, by the church, and going to church as much as we went to church. And so when I got to this place where I was older, I started realizing how to use my talents and my gifts and still serve people. And so and that's the thing I think that me and my wife often talk about when we say, at the end of the day, when everything's going crazy and things aren't going the way they should be going, we know what we're doing is our purpose. So that is our foundation. And so we look at it as everything else is built on that. So we are looking at it and saying, hey, all this other stuff may fail, the money may not be right, things may be going on with family, even our clientele may not be as high as it should be. Funds aren't coming in for different things that we're trying to do. And it's still that sense, regardless, this is our purpose. We're going to keep moving forward because we know that if we're working on our purpose, there's going to be some success. There's going to be an end of the line that says, hey, good job, well done. And that's what we're going for.
I love it. I mean, I so love it. I mean, there's an expression we use kind of often around some of the teams and the things in which I lead, and that's that your life on this planet is an answer to a problem, right? Yes. That we see that demonstrated throughout Scripture, but it's carried out practically in all of our lives. That our life on this planet is an answer to a problem. Mm-hmm. That there is a purpose, that we were created with a purpose in mind. Yeah. We were created on purpose, for a purpose, and with a purpose. Yeah. Now it's on us to take the time to discover the purpose. Yes. Right. But there was a purpose that was made before we ever got here. There's something inside of all of us that in one way, shape, or form either makes our heart beat or that burdens our heart in a way that we have not realized that the reason why that bothers you is because you're supposed to help solve it.
Exactly.
Right. Because sometimes it's like, oh, no, this doesn't excite me. It's like, no, but it bothers you. It doesn't really bother me. Like, that doesn't bother everybody else. It seems to bother you, though. It's possible that you're called to help solve that problem. And so, exactly. And something else I noticed, and I love, and I want to pull that out and kind of make note of that is there's your language is indicative of something that we believe strongly in, which is that all of us have purpose partners. Mm-hmm. That when we have a purpose, and that when we also have people who God brings together with us, be it a wife or be it a husband or be it a team, that it's a purpose partner, that there are people who are brought into our life to help that purpose be carried out.
Yes.
And it's needed in the case like nonprofit work specifically. I'll go as far as say it's needed everywhere and everything, but it's definitively needed when you're doing nonprofit work, because it's the work that you do that doesn't get a lot of the recognition, or it doesn't come with a lot of the fanfare. It doesn't come with the things that people think it does, and when it does, it still doesn't come with the financial resources that may back up the newspaper article, or that may back up the ribbon that you won. Right. People will celebrate and say, "Shit, yeah, go do this," and then they'll call you and ask you for a donation. It's like, wait a minute, I'm doing the work. I should be asking you to help support the work that we're doing. So I want to say major kudos to you and your wife and your family for the work you're doing. Talk to us a bit about what some of the things that 4 Point Play have done and are doing currently.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, we started with a wonderful program years ago. We were doing Monday night, just free clinic, kids just, come, and we were there. I remember the first couple of nights we did it, it was like 5 or 6 kids that were in the gym. And I was just saying to myself, like, is this going to work? It's like, this is not what I thought it would be, but we did that for years, really. We did that for years. That Monday night, I think we did that for about maybe 3 or 4 years. We were doing it like every Monday night throughout the year. And then like in the summer, we had a couple of teams in the summer a few years ago. We've revived that now. We're starting up a new team now of young for boys. Hopefully we'll start up a girls team in the summer. And so that's something we've been doing since the pandemic happened. We've been doing a lot of virtual programming. So, and I've had the pleasure of having Pastor Teddy on to give some encouraging words to our youth that's on there. And God has really blessed that, because that has allowed us to be national and allowed us to connect with kids in other states. So we have kids coming in from Texas, Mississippi, Michigan. I think we even got some coming in from Virginia. So we have a lot of different areas that we're reaching now because of the virtual programming. And we've been doing that. We have two main programs that we do with our virtual program. It's our Hoops and Fitness program, which really deals with teaching them the game of basketball, the basic skills, but also at the same time, nutritional education. So it's giving them, how to eat right, what, good foods to eat to give you energy, things like that. Also sharing with them a different type of foods athletes eat and different type of foods that athletes drink, so they can see that, hey, you're not the only one that should be eating this. They're doing this too, And so having that, and we have a couple of dietitians and nutritionists that have come on and talked a little bit to our youth about that. And then it's a 4-week program, so they get it for 4 weeks, Monday through Thursday, half an hour every day. And then the other program we do is our after-school basketball camp. And with that program, we are definitely centering on more character building, where we are focusing on different topics for the week. We call it like our word of the week, if you will. So we've talked about accountability for a week. We've talked about focus. We've talked about self-discipline. And I'm trying to think of another. Oh, confidence, self-confidence. So each week we have my wife is a youth sports life coach. So she comes on that first day of the week, talks about the topic for that week, gives them a definition, and also examples of how to use that topic in their everyday life. It's one thing to tell the kid, like, hey, this is what confidence is. It's another to say, hey, this is what confidence is, and this is how you can use confidence. This is an example of you actually using confidence in your everyday life. So we've been doing that. And then we have special guests that come on and talk to the youth and kind of, give their perspective on the topic of that week. And we feel that really kind of confirms what we're teaching to them, and it creates a village for the kids. Sure. They're able to say, like, hey, our coaches are here. We have another life coach, our sports life coaches here, and then we have these other special guests, and we've had some G League players that's come on and talked to our youth. We've had some life coaches that's come on and talked to our youth. And so we've had a numerous amount of people, other coaches that I'm associated with that's come on and talked to our youth. So we've had that opportunity for really them to kind of build out that idea of what it takes to be an athlete and what it takes really to be a student athlete. Because everyone thinks that, you're an athlete, but reality is you're a student athlete,
Just
and
student athlete.
Exactly. So they have to understand that. And the same tools that you need to play well in a sport are the same tools you need to be good in the classroom, excel in that classroom, learn, make mistakes, and that's what we kind of teach our youth. Those are our two big virtual programs that we've been doing. We still do different camps that we have in person now. We're doing an open gyms camp clinic that we've been doing, which is they just come play. We teach them a couple of skills, but they get the chance to play with other people their age and just have some creativity and just enjoy the game, really. Yeah. So that's what, and we do different camps and things like that. When we didn't have the pandemic, we were doing a lot more camps.
You were doing a lot of camps. You were doing a lot of camps.
And so that kind of went foot when the pandemic hit and we moved into the virtual. But as things are opening, we're trying to plan to do more, to revive our camps and things like that, and just go from there. But yeah, that's pretty much, and all the program we have now is free. So all you gotta do is just sign up, show up, and learn and have fun. Our three models that we have: always have fun, hustle to everything, and never say the word can't. And so we use those models to help our youth just have a good foundation, something to build on. That never say can't one is very important because a lot of the youth that we encounter, that's the first thing they say: I can't dribble. It's not that you can't dribble, you just don't know how. It's not that you can't pass, you just don't know how. And that's why we're here. We're here to teach you how. And you can work through all of these mistakes, just that I had to work through those mistakes, just as Kobe Bryant had to work through those mistakes, just as LeBron James had to work through those mistakes. And you can get to that level where you can be the best you. It may not be Kobe Bryant and LeBron James, but you can be the best you. And that's what we try to just destroy that can't word out of their vocabulary and get them to say can more. And the more we do that, the better they play, the better active they are, and the happier they are because they're not so hard on themselves for making a mistake. So yeah,
I love that. I want you to talk to us from all three of those models you have, but I want you to speak a little bit more toward that one. And if we have anybody in the chat who's still on, I know y'all are still on. Y'all are getting a little quiet in the chat. Go ahead and type never say can't in the chat for me if you can. Never say can't. I think that's something that you all should pocket and coin. We shouldn't just leave that with the youth. That's a mindset. Yeah. That's a mentality that we all have to have. And if I could connect dots there, even you said yourself that the scripture that you hold on to and go back to is, I can do all things through Christ that gives me strength. Well, that's never say can't, because I can. Yeah. And how has that thought, and I want you to talk about the other two as well, how has that thought impacted your life, your family? Like, how have you personally used that to overcome some things and to kind of get through mental or just challenges?
Yeah, I mean,
there they go. Never say can't. I knew y'all were there. Y'all got quiet.
I think that for me, there's always a door that's going to close on you. There's always a door, and we've heard that saying: when a door closes, another one opens, or a window opens. We've heard that many a times, I'm sure. And so, for me, that's always been that sense that, I can do anything if I put my mind to it, but I have to dedicate the time it takes to make that possible, and so with that mentality, everything that I do is in that vein. It's like, I know I can do this. I just got to figure it out. If I'm being honest, I would say a good example for me is that reality of going from a theology degree into finance, and having to learn the financial software for that nonprofit, and I had never used it before, and saying to myself, like, okay, I can do this. I got my supervisor showed me how to use it. I went in there, figured it out, and kept doing it. And then like my supervisor used to joke around with me and say, "You like our guru now for our financial software." And I'm like, okay. But it was that reality. I said to myself that I can do this. And when you put that focus into it and you work at it, anything is possible. Anything is possible. And so it took that, and then also in that same job, later we were, for admin, we're also like the IT team. And so I never worked with computers a day in my life before that job. And so it was that reality that I still was like, okay, I have to figure this out. So how am I going to do this? And little by little, I gained the information, knowledge I needed to be that IT person for that organization I was working at. And then not only that, after I learned it there, my next job, I was hired for that same skill set. And then the job after that, I was hired for that same IT skill set and ended up being an IT coordinator for North Park University for a year. So,
wow.
It's that reality, like.
What's your theology degree?
With my theology degree, it's that reality that when you seeing something and you say you can't, then you immediately are unable to do it. You immediately get that opportunity taken off of your list, taken off of the table for you. But when you say can, you open yourself up to it, because then you start trying to figure out a way to get it, to figure out a way to learn it, to figure out a way to accomplish it. Because when you say can, that opens you up to it. And it also opens the doors up for revelation, for new ideas, for better understanding. Because now you're not closed-minded. You are open to say, oh, if I can do this, I need to figure out how, and I do a lot of Google searches, early on with my IT, I was doing a whole bunch of Google searches and getting all this information and just trying things out and using it, and it would work. And then also we would have like IT professionals that we would work with, and I would be over their shoulder every time they come and see what they're doing. And whatever they was doing, I'd say, I can do that I don't need to call you anymore. So I was also trying to save the organization some money, by learning their tasks so we can minimize that expense. So it was just, taking that time to really learn that skill set is important. But it starts with that can attitude.
I think that's so key. Like, honestly, I think it's so key because can leads to possibility. I love it when you said that can leads to possibility, can leads to opportunity. We kind of have this unofficial thing we say in some meetings where it's like, okay, if I feel like a meeting is going, well, one, I hate negativity in meetings. Like I just, Patrice is backstage, but the rest of the team, I hate what even feels like negativity in meetings, because it can suck life out of a room. So we started saying this thing every now and again, and I say it sometimes when I can remember. Let's wow it to life before we how it to death, right? Yeah. We can figure out the how after we wow it a bit. Let's talk about what's possible, and then let's get tactical. But if we get tactical before we talk about what's possible, we're gonna be like, I don't want to do this no more, because it's right. And if we just kind of approach life that way, I love the reality of it. When I had a chance to speak to your students on both sides, both the virtual ones and in person, for me, it was a chance to talk about just the reality of like, life is possible depending on what you do with it. That whatever you view this as, it's applicable on the court, but the principles you learn on the court are equally as applicable off the court.
Yes.
That the things I learned in sports are definitively some of the core foundations that keep me going now.
Yeah.
It's the hustle, it's the grind, it's the discipline. It's the focus. It's the muscle, right? It's the muscle memory. It's the reps.
Yeah.
You don't just get good at anything doing it one time.
Yeah.
It's studying, right? It's you Google. That's studying game. That's studying film.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's watching tape, right? Yeah. Why you watching that? Because I need to see what we did right and what we did wrong. I need to see what the opponent did right, what they did wrong. So that's the first one you did. What's the second one? What's your second motto?
Hustle to everything.
Oh man, I love it.
So this one is, you know, the kids don't like this one because we like, when we say hustle to everything, we mean hustle to everything. So you need to hustle to get some water, hustle to come back, you know. So they kind of don't like it, but it's that reality for them is to understand that, you know, walking in the sport, especially in basketball, is not doing you any service. You know, you got to be the first one on the ball. You got to be the first one to get to a spot. If you're used to running, then you're gonna run all the time. If you walk, then you're gonna walk most of the time. And so you're gonna be doing a disservice to your teammates as well as to yourself. But also, it's the thing about life. You know, the reality is you gotta hustle to get some things that you want. Everything is not going to be handed to you. There are some things that you're gonna walk in and you're gonna have favor with God and you're gonna get automatically. That's real. That's gonna happen. But there's gonna be some other things that you're gonna have to hustle for, that you're gonna have to grind for. And so getting our youth to kind of see that with basketball and saying, hey, you need to hustle to this. You need to run to this spot. You need to go a little faster. Don't just jog. Let's do some sprinting. You know, getting them to see that urgency is important. Because a lot of times your opportunity is not going to be around for a long time. So you may get one shot, one chance to impress a coach, one chance to make a good impression on a teacher or a professor that you have, and you want to put your best foot forward. So they have to understand early on that that's how you do it. You hustle, you put your all into it, and then you're going to get better at it, and you're going to get more confidence with it, and then you're gonna become a better runner. Really, you're gonna be a better athlete. You know,
that's right,
and hopefully a better student. So that's really why we do the hustle to everything.
No, I think I would go as far as say I think that's key and critical, right? So do you have any programs for kids not sports related? Because this is so good, right, Mickey? This is awesome. So you know, hustle to everything. I think some pieces you said around there are so major, right? And then for those who are spiritual and watching this and believe and those type of things like this, sometimes we can have a tendency to over spiritualize work.
Yeah.
So the way in which we kind of communicate it often is divine energy meeting up with human effort, right? So it's human effort. So yeah, it's human effort. It's divine energy and it's human effort. It's not one or the other. It's pray, prepare, and show up. It's all of the above. Right. You know, I'm looking for a job. What did you apply? Because if you just did, you know, you might have prayed about it. You might have taken it to God in prayer. You never submit the application. There's a good chance they may never see your application to ever call you. Right. And let's see, this is my right. So this is my left. You know, I love it. You know, you said I
see it, yes.
It's right there. Somebody else making sure I got the right hand up. It's right there. I believe it. I totally believe in it. And this one says that a dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. Yeah. Right. The firewall is about the mindset. That's the can. You have to believe you can, but you have to hustle. Yeah. Yeah. Not on a Monday. You have to hustle. You have to hustle to get it going there. So I
would say for me too, one of the places I really got that from is that scripture, you know, that faith without works is dead. You know, you can have all the faith in the world, but if you're not moving on that faith, then that faith is not going to come to fruition. What you're believing God for is not going to come to fruition. So it's the understanding that for me, it's always like there's some action behind this. There's some things I need to do. Yes, there's belief, but there's some things that I need to do to make that belief come to reality on earth, because it's already done in heaven. God already, and then you're victorious and everything like that. But one of the reasons why it doesn't get down to earth is because we're not moving in it. We're not actively going after and doing things for it. So that is something that I really kind of
absolutely
from that hustle to everything.
Absolutely. I mean, we got to move on to the third one, and some of the people in the chat got stuff to say. But I mean, I think it's this reality. I think it's so good. Well, you have to hustle to everything. Again, for those who may be spiritual and may be believers and of the faith, and even those who aren't, everybody's heard of the story of David and Goliath.
Yeah.
Well, Goliath doesn't fall if David don't swing. It was not enough for him to have the faith that the giant was going down. It wasn't enough for him to believe in his ability. Right. And you miss, and again, sports for me was everything. It still is everything. It's just in a different kind of way. You miss all the shots you don't take.
Exactly. Exactly.
You got to hustle everything. And you said this other piece about it, about seizing the moment, right? That you never know how many you're going to get. And so some people even walk around having like Carpe Diem tattooed on them, having no clue what it means, right? They wouldn't get it and somebody else would. It means seize the moment, right? Because you do not know.
Yeah, you do not know when you're going to get that back again. Or if you're even going to get it again.
Or if you're going to get it back again.
Right.
I love it. I love it. Hustle to everything. What's the third one?
The third one was always have fun.
Always man. How many adults need to hear that?
Exactly. And I think too is it's the joy, man. You know, sports give you joy. You know, especially for kids. You know, they're out there, they're playing with their friends, and even as adults, that's the nostalgia that we go back on. We're like, oh, I remember the days I was out on my block with my friends, we were playing, having fun. I was a kid. You were smiling and laughing. All these things were happening. You know, we look back at that with like so much happiness. And so we have to understand that this is still a thing that the kids can play and have fun with. And we want them to understand that is important to us, because in reality too, we're seeing a lot of our sports are becoming professional for early on. You know, so 8th graders are being ranked now in basketball. 6th graders are being ranked. I'm like, they're 6th graders. Like, they haven't even developed their body yet. How are we ranking them? How is this possible? And so you have all these kids that are really becoming professionals early on, professional athletes, because they're on these travel teams and they're playing against, you know, oh, he's ranked number 20th among the 8th graders. I got to make sure I play good today. You know, and it's those things are happening early on, that they forget to have fun. They forget to explore their creativity. So it
robs them of the love of the game.
Yeah, love of the game. Yeah. So I mean that's really where our always have fun comes from. And our kids really, they need it now more than ever. Especially with the pandemic and things that's been happening. That fun is needed more.
Absolutely.
They've had a stressful year, just as we have.
Absolutely. I think I love that you said that. I mean, I've loved everything you said. I feel like I've said that 150 times tonight. but it's so true, because one, I think we negate how much that the kids and the youth are facing and they're under the same pressures. They're under the same challenges and frustrations, and they're living through this pandemic just like we are. Many of them have been robbed of just the little bit of normalcy that they knew from graduations to school, and they didn't know half of a lot of other things. So all that they knew was flipped upside down. We've had to explain to kids wear masks. Like, can you imagine what it's gonna be like when we don't have to wear masks? Yeah. Like, they're like, what? For some of this, all they've done for the last 2 years is wear a mask everywhere they go.
Yeah, yeah.
And what was, and here goes the other, yes, I love it. People keep forgetting it. Like, they have emotions, they have feelings, they process, and a lot of them are like, for those who believe in it, they're like environmentalists. So it's like they pick up on the stress and the strain of parents, the stress and the strain of teachers. So they've got their own internal happening. Yes. And then they're picking up on stuff that everybody else is dealing with, and they have to take that on the court. I mean, it is so easy to watch a kid lose the love of the game because they're being built like robots, instead of being like, no, do it because you love it. Work at it because you love it. Put in the hours. I will come to the court early and leave the court late because I loved the game. Like, I loved it. I love getting the shots up. I love hearing the ball go through the net. I love running on the court. It was a love for it that drove me to it. It wasn't the love for the game made me be more disciplined at it. I think about my life now. I take preaching and teaching and lead. It's my love for those things that make me work at it. It's not so. It's fun for me to do it because I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I love that you're instilling that in them. But I will go as far as to say that it's something that you adults who are watching, one, you need to know that the kids need to always have fun. And two, some of y'all Y'all don't allow life to make y'all be so boring. Can I say, I guess my show, I can say that, be so boring and just dry. Like you don't realize if you feel like everything you do in life is robbing you of your joy, something needs to change.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not all the life we were ever called to live or experience, even with the pandemic being our reality.
Right. Right.
I mean, everybody's life can't always be like Disney World, but we should be at least that should be our goal. Like we should be striving toward that. The joy of the Lord is our strength, and His strength is our joy, right?
Yes.
So if that's the case, I should come in the house dancing because I love my family. I love my partner. I love my spouse. I love it. I have fun with it, as opposed to feeling like I'm leaving work to come to work.
Yes. Yes.
So I love it. I think that's great. They listen. I mean, shit. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. It's true. No, but man, thank you so much for sharing that. Any, you all in the chat, we're right at that mark where we get ready to kind of start wrapping up. If you have anything that you want to ask our guests tonight, feel free to drop the question in the chat. I want to say thank you, sir. While they're doing that, anything you would like to leave us with, whether it be a thought that you gave us your scripture that encouraged you. You gave us these 3 statements, these 3 mantras that kind of keep things going. But anything you want to kind of leave the people with, and where they can find you, more information about 4 Point Play at. I try to do my best to be respectful of everybody's time, so we're kind of approaching that. But tell us where they can find you, or just any statements that you kind of have while they kind of formulate whatever their final questions or comments might be. And somebody told on you. They said they did all your homework in school, but that was a while ago. I just thought you should know that, though. Get on Facebook and get exposed.
Probably. It's cool. I'm fine with it. I'm done with school now anyway, so it's all good now. I did.
You say you got your degrees on the wall.
Right. But yeah, so I will say just some tidbits about 4 Point Play. One big initiative that we're doing this year is we're striving to give out 2021 of our athletic care bags. Our athletic care bags are really a response to the pandemic and what's going on. A lot of community centers, park districts, schools have been closed for this whole time, and our youth have not had the proper sports equipment at home to really keep staying active. So we came up with this athletic care bag that we gave out about 600 last year. Our goal this year is to give out 2021 because we're done with 2020. We're in 2021, and we're on that road to moving forward. So we are, one thing I will tell you that $20 will allow us to purchase our bag. The bag is a drawstring bag. It comes with a basketball, 2 cones, workout plan, wristband, and a water bottle. So all of our youth, we're going to be giving that bag to. We'll have all that equipment inside of it, everything that they need, and a jump rope. I'm sorry, we got a jump rope too. Everything that they need to get active, and just get outside and play. Get outside in their backyard, get outside in their front, street, and just play like we used to do back in the day. And really kind of revive that, because parks are now they're slowly opening, but everything's not up yet. So we want to make sure they still have that equipment to do that. So $20 buys that whole bag for youth in our communities, and it'll be a great opportunity for us to just give back and encourage them to stay active and stay focused on the sport that they may love.
That's awesome. For those who want to make a donation toward that, where do they go?
You can go to our website, which is the number 4 ptplay.org. We have a Facebook fundraiser going now. You can find us on Facebook. Just search up 4 Point Play. We're right there. You can use that follow at 4PTPlayINC. That's our social media handles on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. We try to be on everything because our kids are on everything. So we try to make sure we're accessible to all of them.
That's awesome. We got comments are coming through. Keisha, we saw yours. We love 4 Point Play. Such a blessing. The community brought joy back to our. And I second that sentiment that Pastor Keisha shared there. You all have brought such a joy back to the community. I've seen some of the things that you've done with them, or just in general in the community. You were one of the sponsors and partners for the event that we hosted a few weeks ago. And it was great to see kids out in the parking lot. You know, some were watching the movie, but some were jumping rope, some were bouncing the basketball, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And we want to say thank you just for what you do for that. If you're looking to sponsor the Forest Park Library, happy to give a few of them away. As a matter of fact, here's what we'll do. I'm going to make a donation personally tonight, and then the Empowerment Foundation is going to make a donation to you as well, 4-point play for that. And then whatever we give, you can connect with Regina Townsend, who's the youth librarian for the Forest Park Library, and then we can coordinate with those. But we want to make sure we do that. We're going to start off with that. And, let's go ahead and pull that website. Yep, somebody typed that in the chat so we can see that, so you all can see that as well. So we'll do that tonight, though. We can go ahead and kind of keep that going. You all have been a blessing to us. We want to be a blessing back to you all.
Much appreciated.
Oh no, I appreciate. I love and respect the work that you and your wife are doing. Major kudos to you all. Many appreciation for you being on tonight. And then Mickey also said something. Mickey was on one tonight. She said back in the day when kids played outside. Well, I miss the days when kids play. I miss the days when we did play outside. And I want to give again major kudos to you and to your wife, sir, for providing and taking us back to the fundamentals, right? When I think about those, even those bags, those take us back to the fundamentals. It's, Jerry and I, we have 2 kids. They got tablets, they have all that, but they love to go outside, and there's value in still going outside. And
yes.
Those bags are encouraging that to kind of get active. They jump ropes are in them, basketballs are in them, the water bottles and stay hydrated, information is in them. And so the work that you're doing is needed. I know sometimes it can be a thankless, job and thankless, title and that type of thing you carry. Again, people just kind of see it and they just kind of assume you have it all together. They have no clue what it takes to kind of do things behind the scenes. But I want to say, keep going, keep doing the work. You all are impacting far more than you know. And in the same way in which, you began 7 years ago, seeing five students in the gym, I'm sure those seeds have now gone on to places you'll never, ever know. And likewise, I can say definitively that I'm hearing 4-point play in other rooms and other places that you all probably don't even know about. And it's because you're sowing seeds. And so keep sowing the seeds. And we're believers. So we know what it means. When you sow, you have to reap a harvest if you faint not. And we're just going to keep believing that the harvest is going to continue to come to you and to your family for the work that you're doing. But I want to personally say thank you. And those of you who are in the chat, if you all can do me a favor, who are part of my crew, go ahead and put thank you to them in the chat for the work that they're doing, serving our kids, our children, and our youth in the community and around the world now because of the pandemic. Talking about they serving. I was speaking to some kids in Texas last week. Didn't even know it. I love it. Well, thank you, sir. I so appreciate you again. I'm going to let you go. We're going to go ahead and end this broadcast. If you could stay on for a second, just so I can say thank you. And I'll let you go get to your wife and kids. And I got to go do the same because it's nighttime here. But I want to say thank you one more time to those who are watching this back on the replay. Thank you to all those who are watching back on the replay. I know everybody can't watch it live, but I want to say thank you all. Do me a favor. Let's make sure that we share this, I want as many people as possible to hear this brother's story, but to hear about the work that he has committed to do, the work that he and his wife are doing and have been doing. And I believe are going to continue to do. I believe it's going to continue to impact and inspire a generation. But your shares and allowing people to hear about their story and what they're doing, I believe will help it go even further faster. I'm believing that 2021 is going to be a time of acceleration for them. They're giving away. They want to give away 2,021 bags. I don't want y'all to miss that. So what I want you to do is I want you to share this video so we can make sure we do our part at reaching people so that they can know about those bags, but so we can also make sure we do our part to where helping them reach whatever goals they need in order to do that. Those bags aren't free. Those bags don't fall out of the sky. They don't just dream them up and just hope that they appear. And so for those who are willing to, I want you all to do me one more time to put their website up and just make sure we frame it for a second. Again, we're going to make contribution. The Empowerment Foundation is going to make one. Thank you so much. And then I want you all who may be watching this back on the replay to know where you can go find them at to go do that as well. All right. We're going to go ahead and end this broadcast. Andre, stay on for just a second, but thank you all so much. You all have an incredible night.
Thank you, Tabby. Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.